Boy, 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 boy. What's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, people? Hopefully y'all can hear me loud and clear. We're finna go to get this thing crack-a-lacking. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Yes, you do. Hit that like button. When you come on in, hit the like button. Y'all know what time it is. Listen. It's been a long time coming. And we got some news to talk about today. I don't know what happened on Twitter today. I don't know what happened. I need y'all to fill me in. You know what I'm saying? Did anything special happen? Did we have any negative Xbox news today? You know what I'm saying? I wonder what happened. What's going on? Phil Bosch in the house, my brother. Who else was good? Jor in the house. Two man. I see you, brother. The truth in the house. True Virgil, my brother. You ponies always misinterpret stuff. Sexy Phil says. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. True Virgil. Johnny J, my brother, what is good? Hope everything going good for you. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening. Hope y'all got your popcorn ready because it's going to be a long one today. Pause. Lunchi in the house. What's good, Lunchi? Heat the Heathen Stevens, my brother. Always in the house. Sam Walton, what's good, my brother? Buddy Hall in the house. The whole slate is coming. My God, my God, my God. We're going to talk about it. Dribble in the house. Said, good morning, people. My brother on the other side of the globe. Salute to you, fam. Tom Murphy said, sup, J-Dub? What's good, my brother? Hope you're doing good. Navenzo in the house. My brother, he said, they don't want to believe it. Stop. Enough. Phil, if you're listening. Uvu G Rich in the house. Hey, where my brother post up at? Because they sure said this would never happen. And we got the audio to prove it. Taryn Singh in the house. My brother Taryn. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day. KI Gaming in the house. What's good, my brother? Glad you're here. If y'all can't tweet it out, or even just hit the like button. If you're just being lazy tonight, just hit the like button. Fledgeron. Say, Phil got KO'd by Jim Ryan. We seen the aftermath. Big facts. That brother ain't never lied. Jim Ryan been retired for, 6 months? Maybe a year? He look, it's crazy. Jim Ryan looking like he's 20 years old again. My brother Phil, for whatever reason, man, hey, bro looking like he 90. God damn. We gonna talk about it though. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about it. I don't want to go too hard on Phil. Pause. I hope his health is well. We've learned about that previously with some actors and stuff, especially some actors changed their physiques and stuff like that, and people kind of joked about it. And come to find out they had, some ailments and things like that. So we want to wish Phil the best of health and the best in life. We like him. We appreciate what he's doing for PlayStation. And, to me, he's the MVP in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Blackbeard in the house. My brother, what's good? He said, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, it's a wrap, brother. It's over. Terrence said, us PlayStation guys will go to Xbox Fan Fest next year because the game's going. Big facts. We're going to be in there deep. No Diddy. We're going to be in there deep. The whole PlayStation Nation, none but ponies going to be walking in there, window shopping, looking and seeing what's coming to the PS5 Pro. The full RDNA 4. Yeah, brother. Man, he said Phil is the MVP, the most valuable pony. Listen, let's get this shit rocking. Let's get this shit cracking. Listen, my brother post up Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? My brother Mello. The rest of my brothers, my Xbox brethren out there. You know, they told me that PlayStation was broke. Solid Snake, my brother, was good. Sam Rucker in the highs. As y'all keep coming in, y'all know what to do, man. We salute you. I keep calling your name. We're gonna get this going. But as we know, these Xbox guys told us this day would never come. They told us that Phil and them was gonna double down on Xbox. That they got a handheld coming. They got a next generation coming next year. They got all of this stuff. They told me, yeah, they bought the ABK deal so they can have all the exclusives. And Ponies was gonna be mad about it. My God, my God, my God. Phil Spencer came out today, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Since I don't really know what's going on, but the word on the street is Phil Spencer came out and did an interview. And it was very telling about what he said in the interview. As a matter of fact, let me put it up on the screen. I want to give you just the gist of what he said. Let's see what Phil Spencer said. According to IGN, Phil Spencer said he won't rule out any Xbox exclusive coming to PlayStation. That includes Halo, Gears, and Forza. Halo, Gears, and Forza. And it goes deeper than this. The rabbit hole goes very deep. No diddy. First, in January of this year, Phil came out and said, you know what? We're going to bring 4 games to PlayStation. And you know what? It's just, we're just going to, dibble and dabble. We're just going to put the little games there just to see where it makes sense. It kind of makes sense. See if these is a live service game. And, we need stuff like that. But we ain't going to put our hardcore games there. We ain't going to put none of that. We'll put the little Tinky Winkies, the little live service games. But then they decided to put Hi-Fi Rush. Guess what? That's a single player game. That's not a Tinky Winky. That was their highest rated game. Well, that came over to PlayStation. Then 2 months later, they said, Phil, now that you got the 4 games on PlayStation, what's crack-a-lacking? Phil said, listen, I put those 4 games. Don't take that as a sign that anything else is coming. I'm just being generous right now because, when we all play, it's better for gamers. Soldier for Life in the house was good. That's me see. Listen, this is Phil saying this stuff. Phil just said, hey, listen, don't take this as a sign that more's coming. It's just these 4 games. So don't ask me no more. God damn. 60 goddamn days later, Phil said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to bring some more games to your platform. Yeah, we're going to bring some more to PlayStation. It just makes sense. We owe that to our franchises. You know what I'm saying? We our developers work hard. They deserve to be on more platforms and have more players. My God. Johnny Gaming in the hot said, Bot said, hold the line. And Phil said, no red line. My God, my God, my God. Melvin in the highs. What's good, my brother? It's coming. I knew it. Listen. Phil said this all within 60 days. Think about it. 60 days. This guy done changed like 4 or 5 times. So Phil came out today and said, you know what? Let me stop pussyfooting around with it. Listen, all them bitches is coming to PlayStation. Matter of fact, they're not only coming to PlayStation, but they're going to be pro enhanced On top of that, we sprinkling a little bit of our machine learning onto the goddamn games. That's what Phil said. You know? He said the PlayStation version gonna have the extra spice, extra optimization. That's what he said. I just want to know how Xbox guys feel about that. How do they feel about that?
I knew it.
Saying, how do you feel about that? You don't spend all this time damage controlling. You don't spend all this time getting flued out, going to FanFest, breaking bread, shaking hands, whining and dining, just for Phil to do exactly what the PlayStation gamers told you was going to happen.
PlayStation, there you have it.
My God, my God, my God. This shit is crazy to me. Woo and high, said J-Dub. Phil needs to get his Game Pass up to 35 million before 2026. Hey, actually it was 50 million. He got to be 50 million before 2026. And he got to be at 100 million by, listen. This is the narrative 2 years ago from them acquiring the ABK and ZenMax. You ain't lying, brother. You is not lying. My brother Craig in the house. Phil Spencer told him to get ready for the cheek busting. Oh, man. Mass Effect style. This shit is crazy. How can Phil change his mind in such a short period of time? January, there's no games. March, there's only 4 games. June, yeah, it's more games. November, the whole fucking slate. Immortal Black in the Eyes was good, my brother. Robert Evans said, Xbox FU. Listen, this shit is crazy. I don't get it. And then, before we go further, I want y'all to listen to something, right? Because we need to talk about this. We really need to talk about the guys who sold us on Xbox and told us that the ABK deal was great for Xbox and it's going to bring them exclusives. We need to talk about the guys who said that this day will never happen. I got some receipts and I want y'all to listen. And I want y'all to tell me, am I lying? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm lying. I don't know, but sometimes I need correction. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need correction sometime. Maybe I just want y'all to listen to this and tell me what y'all think.
Third party. No, they're not going third party. Now, if there comes a day where Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond or Matt Booty come out and go, you know, we've made the decision that we're bringing Gears of War, Halo, Forza, I don't know, Avowed, Starfield. Like, in other words, if all of their core major AAA exclusive IPs all of a sudden start showing up on Nintendo and PlayStation platforms, go ahead, get your pitchforks out. I understand the outrage, because at that point, why is Xbox even making hardware? Just be a third-party company. But that's not what they're doing. Third party, no. They're not going third party. Now, if there comes a day where Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond or Matt Booty come out and go, you know, we've made the decision that we're bringing Gears of War, Halo, Forza, I don't know, Avowed, Starfield. Like, in other words, if all of their core major AAA exclusive IPs all of a sudden start showing up on Nintendo and PlayStation platforms, Go ahead, get your pitchforks out. I understand the outrage, because at that point, why is Xbox even making hardware? Just be a third-party company. But that's not what they're doing. Third party, no.
I mean, am I lying? I mean, obviously I come with receipts, right? I don't want nobody to say, hey, Tay-Dave, you just lying, man. You stupid ponies be lying, man. But listen, and I'm not here to pick on my brother Paris. I love my brother Paris, man. He cool peeps. But this was the direction that was sold to us about the ABK deal. As an Xbox gamer, they told us this is what was going on. And this was crack-a-lacking. So I'm just saying, listen, and I'm not just going to pick on my brother Paris. That's not what I'm doing here. As a matter of fact, somebody that y'all know who's been capping to the ultimate power, Super Saiyan of capping, Ryan McCaffrey. I want y'all to look. Even he today, he finally gave up and started telling the truth. He finally see what I've been saying. He finally agrees this is the direction with Xbox. He sees through the bullshit now. Look at the screen. My brother Ryan McCaffrey said, this is why we're getting a Gears of War prequel instead of Gears 6. This is why we're probably getting a Halo 1 remake in Unreal Engine 5 or a reboot instead of Halo 7 or Halo Infinite 2. Elder Scrolls 6? If it was ever exclusive, it's probably not going to be exclusive anymore. This is what I said. This is what other PlayStation guys said about them suddenly changing from the Slipspace engine to the Unreal Engine 5, because Digital Foundry called it out and said, if all of Xbox games is on Unreal Engine 5, then anybody could make the games, and the games could easily be ported to PlayStation and Nintendo. It makes sense. And it's crazy. It took Phil Spencer coming out saying that there's no red line of what games are going to go to PlayStation next. He said there is no game that would not go. Ryan McCaffrey finally see what J-Dub been telling him. What took him so fucking long? I have no clue. But I'm glad this good brother finally sees the light. My brother a run in the highs, damage controlling this as much as possible, as usual. Salute to you, brother. He said ponies didn't have a game drop today. Laughing my ass off. Hey, we did have some game drops. Phil Spencer came out and dropped the news that all your games coming to PlayStation. That's the news. The illest cat in Nebraska is in the house. He said we need to reach out to Paris out of love. Bring him home. Big facts, man. Big facts. Like I said, I played that. Not to admonish my brother, but just shows you even he was disillusioned. The whole time Microsoft was in court talking about how big bad Sony was taking the third-party games and third-party marketing deals, the 30% from that to make Xbox smaller and make Xbox go away. They were pump faking. The whole time they had PS5 dev kits. The whole time they were planning on bringing Sea of Thieves and Grounded and Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment and the rest of and As Does Fall, all them games over the PlayStation. There's a reason they're not giving you sequels to the game. They're trying to introduce the new fan base, the PlayStation fan base, the Nintendo fan base to those franchises. This shit is crazy. Zink in the highs playing that God of War 1. What's up, my brother? What is up? Brian East in the highs. He said the minute the ABK became Microsoft, you knew. You knew they'd lose money if they ever tried to go exclusive. Big facts. But you couldn't tell that to people like Aaron. My brother said, Xbox is dead. Move on, J-Dub. Move on. Don't talk about it no more. It hurts. The pain hurts. Listen, Aaron, I am going to move on, brother. I'm going to move on. But listen, not until I get my I told you so. Until you say, J-Dub, you won. Matter of fact, let me find that clip from Dirk Riggedy, man. I want to make sure I think I still got that clip. When they finally admit that I won. Let me see where that clip is. I gotta find that clip. Y'all bear with me 1 second. I want my acknowledgement. I've been trying to save Xbox for the longest, man, but they didn't want to believe it. Man, I don't have it on this PC. I got it on my other. Yeah, but you know, when you got people like Ryan McCaffrey, they when they see through the bullshit and they know what this means, I think, you know, I think at that point it's a wrap. Now, one thing I do want to ask y'all, right? SNK in the house, what's good, my brother? One thing I do want to ask you guys, and that is, do y'all think Phil is okay? In June, a few months ago, Phil Spencer came out looking like this. When he said more games are coming to PlayStation, this is how this brother looked. When he came out today and said the whole slate is going to PlayStation, this is how he looked. Now, I don't know if brother's on Ozempic. Maybe he lost some weight. Maybe he's, you know, in the gym trying to get rid of, you know, man boobs and gut. But I hope, his health-wise, I hope he's fine. Like I said, I like Phil Spencer, man. Phil Spencer has been the best thing ever for PlayStation. He worked out a deal with Jim Ryan to bring all the games over. Jim Ryan gave him a couple of PlayStation dev kits to let them survive through the generation. And I'm going to be honest. I think Herman Hull said, nah, fuck that. We finna drop the price on the PS5 Pro. They dropped the price by $100. PS5 right now is $379. That shit is finna sell like crack this holiday season. It's finna sell like crack. My brother Heath, I am opening up Discord, my brother, in case you want to jump in and give your 2 cents. And anybody else, you know, y'all able to fall through and, you know, say your piece. Hey, it's all good in the hood. Swagback said the best thing since PlayStation. God damn, I ain't lying. Dribble said, I personally think Phil got a stern talking to from his boss. But listen, Phil got promoted to CEO or some shit like that a year and a half ago. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. I got my brother Heath in the house. What's good, Heath?
What's up, man?
Same old.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. Remember I said he don't look good earlier, and everybody's like, "Nah, dude, he don't look good. It's either drugs or health, one or the other."
Yeah. Shadowstar said, "Come on, Jay. How many times are you gonna crack that Indiana Jones whip on these bots back? Big facts, brother. That's another thing, right? Okay, let's say all these games, we know Halo, Gears, and Forza, they're all coming to PlayStation 5. The thing about it, Heath, is will they be of high quality? Can they pull off a successful port to PlayStation?
Now, they did with the first 4. They're pretty good.
That's true. Absolutely.
Like, Indiana Jones is coming, but that's going to be dog shit.
Yeah.
Quality wise, like Starfield, some people will buy it just because of whatever, but I think that's done for it when that comes. But Halo, Gears, and Forza should sell. But you know what I mean? Just because they're quality games. Yeah, I can see them doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? They're going to try and, they're going to bring 4 to 6 games, something like that a year or something like that over. I can see them doing something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're not. I mean, we knew this was coming a long time and they didn't want to believe it. But, 2025 is going to be worse for Xbox because you're going to see more games skip Xbox, more like third-party games, just because of the S and shit. And it's only going to get worse from here. You know what I mean? It ain't going to get any better for them.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Like, the picture on the left, that's how when Phil did his interview and he said more games are coming, on that picture on the left, that was him from June doing the Xbox showcase, right? That looks like a night and day different guy. Like, what happened in such a short period of time? You're talking about June. I mean, you're talking about July, August, September, October, November. A 5-month span. What can cause a guy to look like that, to lose all that weight?
Unless he took that Ozempic shit. That could be.
Oh, Ozempic? Yeah.
Yeah, because look how skinny people look. Look how weird they look when they take that. You know what I mean? How skinny they get and weird. Like, they look like they're a skeleton almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it's not health. I hope it's drugs. You know what I mean? It's bad to say, but I hope it's fucking drugs.
Oh, shit.
It's fucking drugs.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit for that. Oh, man.
But it's the truth, though. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to see nobody have some weird ass shit. Like, I'd rather see him, like, he's smoking crack or some shit. At least he can fucking,
Oh, man. Man. He is a savage for that one. Listen, I don't know if Coke make people lose weight like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
Stress. I mean, I could maybe stress, maybe satious. But okay, here's the thing, right? I get it. Everybody, listen. I'm a businessman, right? And sometimes I'll be fucking stressed to the max. And I know everybody handles stress differently, but given his salary and what you think the guy may be worth, he could probably just retire and just live on life being okay, right? Like, so, and that's how I keep myself grounded, knowing that, throughout all the stress, I can just walk away from it all and just fucking live the rest of my life, knowing that I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I'll be okay. You don't have to have all the money in the world to be okay, but you gotta have your mental health. You have to have your physical health as well.
Yeah, if you work yourself to death, it's not. Yeah. It doesn't do any good when you retire anyway. So you know what I mean.
Yeah, Aaron. Just because, listen, we're discussing Phil's the difference between the 5 months from when we last saw Phil. That don't mean like stop the cap. That don't mean we're poking fun. Matter of fact, I said I hope he's healthy and stuff like that. So don't come.
Yeah, I hope it's not something weird. Bro.
Yeah,
I hope he did take Ozempic or some shit like that, and it's something explainable why he looks like that different, because you usually don't change the way you look that quick.
Yeah. Aaron, the first thing I said before I even discussed Phil, I said I hope he's in good health. I said prayers to him. That's the first thing. You probably wouldn't listen, brother. You got sugar daddy in your ears. That's the first thing.
We don't wish bad health on anybody, and that's fucking.
You know that. It's Aaron just being sensitive because we're poking fun at Xbox. Ain't nobody in here said anything about any of that stuff. No, we're gonna talk about it. Nah, we're gonna talk about it. If that was Jim Ryan up
people,
there, you would have been in here poking fun, laughing, right? So nobody,
and
first thing I said before we even discussed that, before I even asked Heath what he thought, I said, I hope he's in good health. So let's stop the cap, right? So we got that out the way. Now we will discuss Phil looking different within 5 months. I'm not the only person that noticed that. Everybody on Twitter talked about it. They said it's probably stress, and they said it's probably Ozempic. Right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Listen, I don't care if you're a PlayStation guy or Xbox guy. Phil is a likable guy. We all like Phil for our own reasons. So come on, man. Don't do that.
Phil's still a good dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Don't do that. Don't pull the pity stuff, right? It's just something is different within the last 5 months. Ghost said that's stress, J-Dub. Phil fucked around with the church's money. Listen, I ain't gonna lie.
Could be.
If you think about it, if somebody gives you $100 billion and they tell you you gotta make it back, you gotta fucking make it back. That you dealing with the mob's money.
Think about how many people he had to lay off this year.
Yeah. Aaron, just because, listen, yes, we call Phil a liar because he is. I just explained to you the last 6 months of what he said from January. Remember? Are you paying attention to the show, brother? I said in January, Phil said this. In March, he said this. In June, he said this. You don't remember that? In November, he said this. You don't remember? I don't think you're paying attention, brother. Aaron, you pay attention. You got to stay with us, brother. You on the defense of Xbox. Xbox is out of there. Xbox is out of there.
Even management noticed that.
Phil is a liar. He's been lying for the last decade. That doesn't mean he's a bad guy. That don't mean you want harm on him.
That's his job.
Yeah, like when y'all said shit about what's his name, Jim Ryan. Did you hear anything from him? I don't care. We don't care about executives like that. But even when we discuss them, we don't wish them bad health. Like, come on, bro.
What do you mean? Come on.
Oh man, Attic, my brother Attic, and I'm glad you're here, brother. I got my good brother, Lord Attic in the house.
Are you streaming or something?
Yeah, we're live, brother. It's just chit chatting. We're just chit chatting. But I'm glad you're here. We talked about in January when Phil came out and said that they're going to be testing 4 games, bringing 4 games, just 4 games. Don't take this as a sign that more is coming. That happened in January, and then in March he came out and said it's going to be more games. And then this past June, he came out and said, it's going to be more games. And now in November, he says there's no red line. There's no games that's off the list of games that's coming, right? So what do you think? What's your take on that? Do you think that it's a real good move? Do you think it's a bad move? What do you think? What's your take on it all?
I think...
Oh, man. My brother Attic got dropped. Oh, man. Hopefully my brother King didn't yank his cord. Come on back in here, Attic. Come on back. There you go. I say something. I hear you now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh man, I thought Phil pulled the plug on you. Oh man, what happened?
I've been saying for a while. The Xbox community been they've been after my head. They don't like my foolishness. They don't like it. Yeah. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't agree with it. I think it's a mistake. I think they are low-key going after something that doesn't exist. They're looking at this. So we can get this. All these people that do all these people that do this, and it's just like, fam, like you're trying to go after the streaming money, you're trying to go after, you know, this PlayStation money, which there's money in that, but it's just like you're going after all these millions and millions and billions and billions, and you end up isolating and killing your own hardware doing it, and you're going to get no new customers because you don't got to look any further than like look at like all the games that do show up on mobile, like Resident Evil, all those games like triple copper on there. So it's like clearly the masses don't want to play their games on their phone like that. Like
mobile games are different. You know what I mean? Mobile gamers don't want to play console games, and console gamers don't want to play mobile games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the problem is that they see
it differently.
They see it as all the same.
Yeah, well, they see like all this money being made in the mobile market, and it's like that's Candy Crush. It's people waiting at the doctor's office. Like, it's not the same thing, but they feel like they're gonna get the same thing. So it's like, you know, and then maybe I'm wrong.
No, you are right. Those people play like, you know, 15 minutes, half an hour while they're waiting at the doctors or fucking around. But you know what I mean? They play here and there when they can, but they're not like, you know, gamers like we are.
Yeah. No, that's true. Here's the thing. Addict, you and I talk all the time. You have been telling me that this was coming, right? So that's not it wasn't a shocker to me. But why do you think everybody else is such a shocker? Because when Phil told us that in January, people dismissed it. They said, "Oh, it's only 4 games. It's only the ones that don't care. It won't be the 10 pole franchises." And then when Phil came out and said, "Oh, it's going to be more games," then people said, "Yeah, it's going to be more, but it's as long as it's not Halo, Gears, and Forza." And then today, Phil comes out and said, "Anything can go." And now, do you think people still going to try to hold the line and say, "Nah, they won't do that," or do you think they'll still try to spin it and say, "Well, he was just hypothetically," you know, I mean, I don't know. You got people like A-Run, my brother A-Run in the chat. You know, he's one of those guys. Phil can look him deep into his soul through his eyeballs and tell him Halo is coming, and he still won't believe it. Why do you think guys are like that? Why do you think they just won't take Phil for his word?
Because all these people, you know, they're paid to low-key grift. You know, it's not about what they're saying, it's how they're saying it. It's not about, you know, what words they're using, but what type of verbiage they're using. You know, you could say a lot of things and seem like you're not lying. Like, is Phil Spencer technically lying to us? No. But Phil Spencer uses such verbiage where he has the, you know, the benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh, you know, I didn't technically say this. Yeah, but you're being deceiving. You're not telling us all of it. Like, I didn't. You know, I didn't cheat on a Tuesday. I cheated on Monday. I just told you it was Wednesday. Like,
exactly. But I'm glad you broke it down like that, because that was a very direct, eloquent way of putting it. Straight to the point.
Remember how they went at Tim Dog?
Yeah. Well, they beat up Tim Dog pretty bad. But when I say that, it doesn't come across like that to them. They just like, "Oh, you stupid pony, you
can't
don't
say
know
nothing. You better keep the Xbox conversation to me. Ain't nobody listening to
you. You ain't lying, man. But it's just crazy. This is not shocking to me, because when Phil came out early, even before January, right, there was signs. I look at the signs, regardless of what people tell you, there's signs, right? If you see people laying off the hardware team, or if you see people reshuffling stuff around, getting rid of things that look like you start put key pieces together, regardless of what a guy tells you. And so I kind of already had that in my head, this direction that they were going to go. Microsoft is about money. Satya he's not Steve Ballmer. He's a guy, he wants results instantly. He's a services subscription guy. You know, he's about making money. and he's going to make a shitload of money by putting his games on PlayStation and Nintendo. More money than he's ever made before in gaming. But that's at the detriment of the Xbox console. And I've always said I could see a future where Game Pass is on PlayStation. But that would only happen if Xbox decided to exit the hardware space, because they don't want to compete on the hardware space and then they don't want that reverse effect to happen. So I think maybe Satya and one question that I have that I really have for you is, and you may not know, right? You may not be in the know. I really want to know, is this Phil's overall plan of what he wants to implement, or is this Satya or Amy Hood or somebody above him kind of saying this is how it go? You have to go out there and make this happen. That's what I want to know.
I couldn't tell you who's at the helm of this. I don't think it's Phil. I do think Phil has been complacent with the matter, but I don't think he's the one that came up with this. I think this is like a pivot. Here's the thing, like, how do I know what Xbox is for when Xbox don't even know what Xbox is for? Feels like they keep changing the overall direction of the company every 6 months. Right now, we're about being there for everyone. And then 6 months from now, no, we ain't doing no exclusives. And then 6 months from then, oh, we doing exclusives all day long. No one's getting none of our shit. Like, it's just like, stick a lane and stick with it. Like, stand on your ground, either die building the house or drown.
Yep.
So you stand for nothing. Like,
yeah, I agree, because here's the thing. I argue with the Xbox fan base all day long, right? It's all jokes and fun, but this is not what I wanted for them. I mean, honestly, when you spend a lot of money on this hardware, these consoles are expensive, whether it's the Pro, whether it's the PlayStation 5, whether it's the Xbox Series S or even X or the Switch. It's expensive and it's an investment. When we invest our money in these things, we expect a certain return and a certain effort in making it the best place to play. This move seems like those guys that are in the Xbox ecosystem that were promised better days and promised X, Y, and Z, they won't really get that payback. They won't really get that destination fulfilled, that purchase, that purchase of what they bought it fulfilled, because it seems like now, you're catering more to PlayStation and Nintendo, but not the Xbox fans. And so I think that is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way at the end. The moment they show Halo running on a PlayStation, my God, bruh, it's like, I think reality is going to set into everybody's hearts.
Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Yeah. And there was already rumors by like Time Warner and them that Forza 5 is like, I think one of Starfield, yeah, is one of the more I guess one of the beginning or next games. That what does that next 4 games look like, right? It's something if it's like a Pentiment or a Hi-Fi Rush type game, but boy, if it's one of the big 3, can you imagine? How do you finish the rest of this generation out trying to sell people Xboxes, trying to sell them into Game Pass when they're seeing those games running on the rivals platform, better resolution, better frames, added ray tracing, enhancements and stuff like that? That's gonna sting, and I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna sting. I think it will for a lot of people.
We wanted the Xbox guys to stand up and demand better years ago.
I mean, here's the thing. Xbox people were, but the problem is that the relevant people with the numbers weren't.
Yeah.
And then it's not even just Xbox people. When all the media is saying they're doing the right decision,
Yep.
And the media has actually got the actual the clout. IGN sitting there coming out there and saying they're making the best decisions they can make.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I'm being prosecuted on a different level because I don't agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: like, not everybody has to agree on the direction that a company goes. That's better for their gaming, but I think at some point there has to be some reconciliation. And I think you got the content creators, the journalists, and then you got the gamers, and sometimes they can all conflict. Addict, I mean, you play more games than most people.
Got the Stoda with the $5 super chat. What's up, J-Dub? These bots still don't want to believe it. What's funny is he didn't want to pay extra money, so he combined that wanna with the NA. You should probably you should have raised that a little bit so you can get more verbiage, man. Get more verbiage. Sound educated, not dumb. You got to pay a little bit more money for that. And I get it. The whole slate's coming. Hit that like button, chat.
Salute to Stoney. Salute, brother. Salute. Oh man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's almost surreal. It's almost surreal seeing that. Some tell me there's still gonna be some guys out there saying, nah, it's not gonna happen. Or they're gonna say, well, wait till next generation or something. They just, Brian E said, gotta respect Addict for selling J-Dub super chats. Big facts.
Hey, nobody can do anything. I don't know how to do anything half-assed. So.
Exactly. Listen, you got the brains. You got the man behind the Iron Lords podcast. What did you expect? What did you expect? Nothing but the best. Listen, I will say this, Addict, and this one thing I said before I even started this topic and stuff like that. That interview, I saw a picture of Phil Spencer. And
you sent me that picture. That's the first thing I woke to when I woke up.
Yeah.
Every time I wake up and I see a message from you, I say, oh God, what's Twitter going to be like today? I don't even know what's happening yet. The first thing I think of is Twitter about to be fired today.
You know it. If I wake Attic up early in the morning on some stuff, he knows some shit done went down on Twitter. He know I already got started. But we saw the picture of Phil Spencer, and he does look stressed. He looks like a president aged. But we saw a picture from him at Xbox Fan Fest 5 months ago. And it looks like he's lost a lot of weight or whatever. I speculated. I said, I hope he's in great. Listen, whether you like Phil Spencer or not, we all wish health and wellness on all the executives because, they give us our games. They're in charge of all of that. Do you think that's because of stress? Or do you think that's just because he's in the gym and then, when we get older, we got to get back in the gym. I need to get my ass fucking back in the gym. No lie.
Me too, man. Me too.
That's my goal for this weekend is to get back in the gym, stop being a fat ass, stop being lazy, get back in there, and because I'm not getting any.
Get the gym right going, man. Maybe next time I won't get dumped.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. We gotta, it's better for your mental health. It's better for your physical health. But I do know that Phil is in a very stressful position. You are running the world's richest company, technically, right? In Microsoft. You're in charge of one of the big three in gaming. That is something I don't want. That's a position I don't want. That's two. I mean,
that's technically Sarah Bond. He's in charge of the whole gaming hemisphere of Microsoft. That's everything.
What I'm saying. That's everything. This guy is the. Other people are saying that it's just Ozempic, which a lot of people who take Ozempic they that comes with rapid weight loss and stuff like that. So that's there. I just wanted to put that out there. But stress. I think, man, just stress. Shit. Listen, you got to get Game Pass numbers up to where they're sustainable. You got to sell gamers on the games so they'll go out and buy and support and subscribe. You got to sell consoles. You got to pay back $100 billion you done borrowed from the mothership. Don't tell me that's not stress. At least stress plays a
me just thinking about it, man.
Exactly.
I'm about to go out there and do some push-ups.
Facts. Shit, I'm telling you, man. You don't be in that type of position, not have some type of stress, man. I mean, I'm always stressed, with and I always blame my weight on stress. But that's just my little excuse, so I don't have to fucking go to the gym. But I need to get my ass back in the gym, real talk. Because a brother is finding it very hard these days to get into the Lambo, and a brother might have to think about selling them. You know what I'm saying? I more and more I love my Raptor these days. I love my big truck. I got more room. It's a lot wider. If you sell
your Lambo, you can buy you a good Xbox Series X.
Well, you already know I got the sprinkle Xbox, man. Hey, Craig, what's good, my brother? We got the Pope of PlayStation in here. What's good, brother?
What's good? Waiting on this Spider-Man 2 to load up.
So, okay. Hey, if you can, raise your mic up a little bit because you kind of sound low.
Yeah. All right, is that any better?
Yes, a little bit better.
All right. Well,
yeah, there you go. Okay. But back to the topic at hand. Mm-hmm. Craig, let me get your opinion real quick since you're just getting here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the news that came out today? Do you think it's a departure of what you thought was going to happen, or did you think that this was going to happen all along anyway?
Yeah, when I was on the round table years ago, I want to say it's probably closer to 3 years now. I'm not tooting my own horn, but to me, this was a natural progression. It's just the way Microsoft has decided to do it is.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, take it easy, brother. Thanks for coming through.
But yeah, the way they went about it is sloppy, and but maybe there's no good way to do it. I said it before. Phil Spencer is not in charge anymore, and when Microsoft proper. The mothership, as you called it, came in and absorbed Xbox into Microsoft. Amy Hood took over.
Yeah.
And if Amy Hood wants, her job is to recoup the money that they spent, getting the studios, which is fine. That's part of what they do. But I think I actually had to sit back and read what Phil said. And I thought the most important thing was that he didn't say anything about another console. He talked about they do have a handheld, and we all know this stuff is planned out years in advance. So to go talk to Bloomberg, which is a business website, they do business, and he pretty much told the roadmap. Of course, they can always change their mind. I always say with the CES because they're partners with AMD, and AMD may announce something at CES. And people don't know CES is like, 10 weeks away.
Yeah, so it's in January, usually,
it's
right?
In January. So, yeah, usually in Vegas. But no, it's not. I mean, people made fun of it. We were saying hashtag the whole slate. And I think like Porter Rock was saying, Sony did not send them or however they do that. I don't know if they bought the dev kits or whatever. They didn't send them those dev kits for 4 games. They didn't do that. They did it for most of the games. They're not going to just send, I mean, it's just, that sounded stupid. And the fact that they already have a pro patch ready in about 24 hours for, say, Black Ops. Yeah. The fact that they said that they're going to have a pro patch for Indiana Jones. And all that should tell you that they've had these pros as far as their dev kits for a while, but Phil's not in charge anymore. I mean, it's not, he's still there, but it's just like, what did Ari Tolote say on Mass Effect 2? It's his face, but it's my words. What's coming out of Phil's mouth, that's why the last guy, Addict, was like, it's kind of disconjointed. It's like, well, she wants one thing, and he may want something different. They could be arguing. I still think that it's Phil Spencer's team just letting a lot of this stuff leak so that they can try to get public opinion on their side. But I'll never be able to prove that. That's just my opinion. Overall, though, it's just it's a bad situation because I don't know why they just won't come out and say, yes, we're going to be putting the bulk of our games on. And like you said, Jay,
We're going third party.
Yeah, you all made a good point. At first, it was just those 4 games. Then it turned into 6 games. Now, it's 5 to 6 months later, and it's, it's no red line, which means Amy Hood walked in there and said, "You're not making these decisions, Phil. Your decisions cost this company, close to $100 billion." So and he's been there, over a decade, and he does seem like a good guy, but everybody knows a businessman has got the businessman face, and then that's not who he is in real life. That's not who they are. Not when they walk in. As soon as he walks into Microsoft, he's probably a totally different person. But his outside persona is we want to be nice to everybody and things like that. But they're getting out of the console business. They will have a handheld. There's no doubt their handheld will probably be the most advanced handheld, more than likely. They'll probably get games before the Steam Deck. They'll probably get games before the Asus ROG. And they're just waiting to see with Nintendo Switch what the hardware is. That's but I think they go to a 1440p. I don't know if there's another 1440p handheld out there. I think they minimally go to 1440p on their handheld. And again, look at the game. I hear people talking about the games, but if those games are on handhelds, they're fine. All these games that are coming out, that one that people are showing now, and they say this close.
Avowed.
Val, and that one that they just showed, they say it's close to Kana, Bridge of Spirits. My girlfriend plays Kana on her phone, like on her Apple device, whatever I forgot what that thing is called, Android or something like that.
Yeah.
And, so she's playing it on there, and it looks like, when I see her playing, I'm like, oh, it looks really good. When I'm from where I'm sitting, But so I think people need to get out of this mindset that Microsoft is no longer going to be in the quote unquote targeting the living room. They have said it. They're at the gaming, and I think Hip Hop Gamer talked to somebody at Microsoft, and what did they say? Something about play with Xbox or something like that. So everything's kind of changing. It's just, I do agree it's janky on how they're doing it, and I do believe the report that came out that there were 2 different teams kind of I won't say they were arguing, but they just may have some differences as far as how we're going to do this. Phil probably wants to do it slow, like here, hand out the Vaseline, and Amy's like, nah, we got to do this. We have to start recuperating this money that we spent, because our shareholders are. I mean, Microsoft didn't get to be the richest company in the world by being stupid with their investments, so they got to pay their shareholders back. And so we'll wait and see. But it's unfortunate that they just won't come out and tell their fan base what they're doing, because everybody sees it. Everybody sees it, what they're doing. Like, if J-Dub, I'm pretty sure if you put hamburger out and then you put some buns out, some seasoning, and then you start firing up the grill, I mean, your family's gonna be able to say, "Oh, he's firing up the grill. We're gonna have some hamburgers." That, to me, it's that obvious what they're doing. But of course, we get tagged. We're fanboys. You're just saying this, and it's like, no. This is it. When you go back, if you go back from today and listen to what we've been saying for the last 30 months or so, this is exactly where we said it was going to be. It's like you play The Witcher 3, the end, when the guy says how they all ended up, and he says, you say this is boring, but if you read between the lines, this is exactly the life they were seeking. And if you go back and you play it start to finish, it's like, this is exactly what they were all seeking, but all hell was breaking loose around them. So we'll have to wait and see. It's unfortunate for their hardcore fans. Because I had an Xbox, you had an Xbox, and this, I've had an Xbox every generation it's been out. So it's disappointing to see the way they're ending it, but I don't know how else people wanted it to end, but it's done.
Yeah.
So
man, I'll tell you what,
it's sad.
It is kind of sad, man. It really is. Hey, I appreciate my brother downward inclines. The whole slate, J-Dub. Bots in shambles. What was up with Mello calling COD a cult classic? Laughing my ass. Listen, man. Y'all know, y'all got to stall my brother Mello out, man. He rode on the extra short bus when he was in school. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of glance over and look over what Mello be saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, they don't want to restart their libraries. I talked to them when I had Xbox, I have Game Pass, and they were leaving messages. I didn't know you could do that. They were leaving messages, and then you get back in touch with them. And I still don't know how I did that, but somehow I figured it out. And they literally were saying they don't want to start their libraries over. This is why they're reacting to Death Stranding the way they are. Part of it is it wasn't on the platform that they had, because they like Kojima stuff too. But you know, they have Metal Gear on Xbox now, and they believe that they should not have to go buy a PlayStation to play these games. That's ultimately all it's about for them.
You just proved the point, Craig. I think you just cracked the code.
Why didn't they buy their own game?
Kojima was supposed to be making exclusive Xbox game. Now that game isn't going to be exclusive since all the Xbox games are going to PlayStation anyway, right?
Well, no, now that he owns his own studio, he owns all his IP, which to me makes sense. Like if I have a company and you make me something and you want to start your own company, it's just a good business decision for me to give, either sell you back the IP that you make or whatever you make, at a discount, because I want that good working relationship. But ultimately, that's what happened was it's no different than Shift Up making Stellar Blade, and then they took that success and they said, okay, we're going to go public and make ourselves, have an IPO or the Korean version of an IPO. And then they got all that extra money.
But the reason why it's different is because he got on Microsoft stage and said that he's making an exclusive Xbox game for them. It's that mobile cloud game that he's making.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be only for Xbox. Well, now that's not going to be only for Xbox because all of their games are going to PlayStation anyway.
Yeah, and again, he owns the studio, so he now has two games. He'll have OD and then Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And then he'll Fizzing It. I think he owns that. It's just Sony is helping him make the game because as Porter Rock made a good point. Sony wants the tech. They want the tech. They want what Kojima's going to do. It's like if you play Death Stranding. If you play Death Stranding and you go play Forbidden West, you'll see the improvements on Forbidden West's Decima that Kojima made. So anything Kojima does on Decima, Sony owns that. Sony proprietizes that. So it's almost like he works for them, but he doesn't.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership. It's a deep partnership.
Yeah. And when Sony bought Jade Raymond's studio,
mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever Jade Raymond proposed to them and showed them on her storyboard, they bought it. It's like, okay, we want her to work. You want to work with somebody like that, not against them, because she's just too damn creative. And for all we know, she could be the next Kojima. And Kojima has made, was it Metal Gear Rising or something like that he made specifically for Xbox? Now, they didn't go buy it because they just want to be able to say, we don't have to buy a PlayStation.
I don't think Kojima made that game. I think that's the one that came out after Kojima had left. After he left Konami.
No. That was before.
That was before? Okay.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Metal Gear, and it wasn't a stealth game. It was weird.
It was a hack and slash. And slash.
Yeah, it was just a weird way to play Metal Gear. So, but ultimately,
wait. Okay, Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, you were playing as Raiden.
Yeah. That was made by Kenji Saito, and produced by Atsushi Inaba. That was made in conjunction with Platinum Games and Konami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kojima to have it. Yeah, the game was originally. They say it was originally developed by Koji Pro. He announced the game. However, the team faced difficulties in developing the game based on swordplay in Kojima, so Kojima stopped development of it, and then they picked it up later. Platinum Games picked it up as a new developer and finished it. Yeah, but Kojima was like, nah, I'm not feeling this shit, and so I guess Platinum Game came and took it and did what they did to it. So I was gonna say, I thought I read that once before that Kojima didn't really have it, because Kojima, he stamps his name, a Kojima game, on every game that he does, and Metal Gear Rising didn't have that, and so that's why I kind of,
But they did have, Xbox did have they had Metal Gear, was it 5?
They had Metal Gear 5. The Phantom Pain. That was the first. That was the first game that they had, the first game. Yeah. And I know a lot of people probably didn't like it, but I loved it. It was, there hasn't been a game,
they're just their whole thing is that I should not have to start my library over to play these games. Like, they don't want to have to do that. So they will sit there and, forever and just wait and complain. And because they know that complaining gets them stuff. So
hey, doesn't your library go with you on PC though? Right?
Yeah,
yeah. It does now. It didn't used to, but that's why I think for me, Microsoft is their gaming section is the DCEU. The DCEU has decent movies. It didn't have great movies. It wasn't the MCU. Doesn't mean it didn't have some nice stuff. And that's Xbox. Xbox has some nice stuff. I mean, Gears of War, that's a good game. That's solid.
Yeah.
Microsoft's Flight Sim game, that's a solid game if you're into flight sims. It's literally the benchmark of all flight sims at this point in time. Yes, better. The one flight sim that's available that's similar is X-Plane, and people they argue back and forth in those rooms all the time between X-Plane and Microsoft stuff. So. But again, overall, that's why when I was looking at Indiana Jones, I'm like, if people just look at this as this is what Microsoft is doing, they'll be fine. However, you're going to compare it to what Sony is doing. That's not fair, because Sony, they make better games. That's all there is to it. That doesn't mean that the Xbox games aren't fun. It does not mean that the Xbox games aren't fun. It just means that they're not Sony's quality, nor, and this is just me personally, nor do I expect them to be. I don't expect DC, as much as I like DC's new coordinator, James Gunn, I don't expect any movie that he comes out with to be as good as, say, a Deadpool and Wolverine or Captain America Civil War, whatever. I don't expect them to do anything that good, but can they do something on the level of Captain America's, First Avenger or Captain Marvel, something in that vein? It's like, okay, this was good. I didn't feel like I wasted my money. Iron Man 2. Can they do something like that? Yeah. Now, really think about it. If you're pitching an Indiana Jones game, what's the first thing, if I'm pitching that to you, one of the first things you're going to ask me is, how's this going to be different than Uncharted and Tomb Raider? Because those are the same type of games. And then you just say, well, we're going to use the whip more. We'll have more puzzles. We have Harrison Ford's likeness. That will sell. And that's what you're seeing. That's what they pitched. It's exactly what they pitched out.
That's true.
Somebody said X-Plane is horrible. No, it's not. I mean, it's not as good as Microsoft's Flight Sim, though. But
no, actually, X-Plane is the ultimate sim, because that's what all the airlines and all the governing bodies actually use for flight simulator. For flight sim training, right? Yeah. So flight simulator does not have that certification.
No, and arguably there's nothing,
because it's not a game; it's a simulator, and I understand while it's not fun for some people, because it's not a game, it's not a video game, it's a simulator.
Yeah, and people get mad at it. Well, it's boring. I said, well, have you ever been on an airplane? They say yes. Do you want your flight to be boring?
It's boring
or exciting? Because if it's exciting, you're doing something wrong. That's what I've said to people before. Like when I played DCS, they were like, well, you were playing and you got shot down. I said, yes, that means I did something wrong, because my my weapon system should do this, 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 and this, and I should be able to counter with this, this, and this. It doesn't matter what that plane is doing. I should be able to see their plane at 120 miles. So I did something wrong. So, but I don't know anybody who wants to go on an airplane and it'd be exciting. Like I just don't know anybody like that. So I tell people the goal of the simulator, if you do it right, it means you went from A to B with no problems. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the goal, so. But yeah, this back to my original point. People got to understand this within the PlayStation community that Xbox is not going to make games like PlayStation can make. It to the point where PlayStation is, aren't they trying to get their budgets under control? Because it's
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 2 cost over $300 million. Now, if it makes any difference, the last movie that had Tobey Maguire and all those guys in it, that Spider-Man movie, that cost Sony $222 million to make. So, and that was with two actors. Jamie Foxx has won an Oscar. Andrew Garfield, I think, has been nominated for an Oscar. I mean, they had all the Benjamin Lee, they had all those guys in there.
Yeah, they brought back all the old villains. Yeah.
So think about how much money that budget was just on salary, but that movie cost less than the game. So, and that's why I agreed. I'm like, yeah, I would just give everybody $180 million leash, and then you're gonna have to come to me for the extra. If you need another 20 million, okay, let's see what you're doing. Can you cut back? That's why they're using the AI to take care, like J-Dub's been saying. The AI is going to get rid of the redundancy. The AI is not going to waste a step. It's going to, and it should be up front, it will be a higher cost, but on the back end, they should save money. In theory, that's the way AI works. At least in the medical field, it gets rid of our redundancy.
Yeah.
So, and so you get a fast. It's not that you won't get the same diagnosis. It's going to get the diagnosis faster. But it's not going to keep rerunning tests. Oh no, this is the probability. Here's what we think it is in the AI side, and then you run the different tests and then the backup and the backup and the backup, and next thing you know, you spent 6 hours, which is still fast on the turnaround on the test, but the AI has done it in 20 minutes and came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
The patient prior said Spider-Man 2 looks $300 million on the Pro. Oh, I'm not saying it looks. It's not that the game is bad. The Spider-Man 2 is one of the best games I have played, but it cost them a video game should not cost more than a damn movie. And not unless it's like an MMO like Star Citizen. That makes sense because that is constantly
technically video games make more money than movies.
In theory.
Yeah, because think about it. Like a Marvel
hour,
movie may cost, call it 300 million, right? I'm just throwing a number out there. I really don't know.
In game costs 300 million to make.
Yeah, right.
You're right. It did.
So the in game cost 300 million. They probably got what, $1 billion off of it.
Yeah, close to 2.6 billion.
Okay, call it 3 billion.
Yeah.
Spider-Man cost 300 million. How many copies of Spider-Man did they sell collectively? Like 40 million copies, right? So you can do the math right there and understand why Sony keeps investing hundreds of millions of dollars into its franchise. It's because the return on investment is better than movies half the time.
No, you're
right. See, here's the thing about it. I honestly think it's easier to get a return on investment in games than movies, because all it takes is a bad word of mouth for a movie or Rotten Tomatoes, and people just won't go and see it, and they'll have to take it and put it on streaming. But with video game, you're still going to have a large amount of people that actually go out and buy that game. So I don't know. I just think so. But as gamers, it's a great benefit to us.
Yes,
because we still get the big AAA games and experiences that we enjoy and that we're willing to spend $70 for, versus the movie. It's so fucking expensive. Just to take your family out. Shit, if you got a couple of kids and you and the wife go, dude, you're spending
And it's just
$150
2 hours.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, you're right. I remember going to see Endgame, and I got my tickets on Fandango, and I still remember the person at the box, and you're right, he took his wife and his 2 kids, and it was him. So 4 tickets to go see this. It was like $68, and that's before they stepped in.
And that's with no popcorn. That's with no drink. That's with no nachos, no candy. So
he spent 110 easy. I bet
that's what I'm saying. Easy.
He should have given back Walk 3,000 as soon as she got into the house.
Man, it's I'm telling you, it's very expensive. And I'll be honest, when COVID happened, I actually enjoyed watching movies at home, do streaming. I just pay my $35.
Yeah.
You know, bought me some popcorn at home. You know, we got a theater system at home, and we just watched it there. I mean, obviously, there's nothing better than going out, being in the atmosphere of other people. But
I agree.
Shit, you know, I got to be at home and relax and didn't have to deal with anything, and so I didn't, mind it.
Yeah, and you're right about the actual movie going experience. That going to the theater, you get the SDDS sound, you get the best of everything. You get chairs that are moving around if you get, if you want to pay extra. So when I went and saw Oppenheimer in the theater, it literally, my chair was shaking every time they did something. So, but I paid for that. My ticket was like $22, but fair enough. But no, people got to really get out of their head that I don't expect Xbox games to be as good. Doesn't mean they don't have some gems. Mm-hmm. And they do. People are lying if they say they got nothing, but because they had a good 360 generation, arguably just as good as, and they were kind of
but Craig, think about it, brother. That's been so long ago. That's what 2005. My God,
they gave up 2 gens back to back.
Yeah, we can't. Them the glory days. Them days way past over.
But remember when Phil Spencer testified, he said he thought that when they had a more powerful console, that they would just win, because he was convinced by his fan base that, incorrectly, we all know, that it was all about the power of the PlayStation 4. To me, it never was. It was always about the actual.
It was about the good game.
The games and the price. See, people got to remember the PlayStation.
Yeah, they dropped the price to $300.
Yeah, and then when they dropped it to $300, when Xbox dropped to $300, when Phil took over, it won NPD like three straight months in a row.
It did.
And then after that was.
But what happened is, all them games that Dunny D greenlit, it was over, and he didn't he canceled Scalebound, and they fumbled some other ones. Yeah, and then Crackdown 3 kind of happened. They drugged that on.
And that's Microsoft's problem. They have to do quality. If they want to put their games everywhere, they got to come out with quality games. If not, nobody's going to buy them.
Yeah. And you're right about quality, but Microsoft's DNA has never been about quality. It's always been about quantity. And that goes back to Bill Gates and Mike and Steve Jobs arguing. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. Or Steve said, "I don't care what you do, Bill. Apple stuff is better." And Bill Gates responded by saying, "I don't care, Steve. Microsoft has more, so we will control the market." And that's what happened. That's it. Because so Microsoft undercut everything Apple was doing, and they still do it to this day. Apple stuff is, you're gonna pay. I mean, you're gonna pay for that. That is high end. But Jobs' whole point has been, people will pay more to say they have something that somebody else doesn't have. And Bill Gates used that, and Microsoft, again, they did the same thing with the 360. Remember, they undercut the price of the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3. That was their key to get in. People were like, "Oh, I can do the same thing," and all the developers want this X, whatever it was, X86, X82, whatever it was at the time, and they are the lead platform for all the major games. The Grand Theft Auto 4, the DLC, Lost and Damned, and Ballad of Gay Tony, that was on Xbox for a whole year. People got to remember that. They had that for a whole year before it went to PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that was big. I mean, I've always said that Now, PlayStation had the the axis, you know, with their gamepad. So when you
6-axis.
yeah, when you had the motorcycle and you had the helicopter when you were in it, you used the axis. That was new to game. That was innovative. But that's what PlayStation had said. We have a Blu-ray, we have HDMI. We're the innovative console, and you're going to pay for it. And it damn near, as Sean Layton has said, it damn near sunk their company, the whole damn company. So, but yeah, I think it's unfair for people. Me personally, I get it. People are still. I think I heard J-Tech say, as long as Microsoft makes a console, there's a console war, which to me is stupid. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. They ain't making no more consoles.
It looks like they're going that cloud hybrid route because they fired all the hardware people, and the Surface team people are the ones who are in charge now. So it looks like that cloud hybrid is the way they're.
That's news. That is news that they fired all those people, because I remember Phil Spencer walking out on that stage saying that I didn't send my my team home. He's something like his design team for consoles home.
Jason Rano and all them guys, they're all gone.
Yeah. Nah, like I said, that's for me. That's news. I didn't know. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's been gone a while now. It's like the Surface people who, because when that leak came out from the court documents, and it said that cloud hybrid shit, and they were all that crap. Everybody's like, what? And I'm like, if that's on documents, that's probably the way they're going.
No, you're right. I agree. Me personally, I still, because that to me,
that sucks.
Has always been the door. If you fire a design team, you get rid of your design teams, then you're gonna have a, you got that's some evidence right there. That to me is new. I had no idea they had fired a design team. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I hate to say it, man. Listen, I've enjoyed the console war just like everybody else. But these are the last days of like Dreamcast. Remember Dreamcast? These are the last days. The what do you call it? The white flag has been raised.
Yeah.
The auctioning of everything else, the fire sale is going on. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of a sad, somber. Like, it's kind of sad.
Well, remember, we just had Sony come out and say, we're not even going to give you a roadmap. We're just going to, we don't, because they don't feel like they have to anymore. Yeah. And they don't have to. They don't have to tell you what they're doing 2-3 years down the road, because people will just complain. They, like, the Indiana Jones game, when we first saw it, when they first showed it, people attacked it immediately. I'm like, okay, guys, it's an alpha. People keep on saying that we want to see what the developers are doing. Okay, they show you what they're doing, and people attack it. So if I'm Sony, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to show you anything until we're 120 days out. That's when we'll show you.
Yep.
The same thing that happened with Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed. Was it Shadows? They just said, yeah, we're not going to talk about this. When we get right on top of it, boom.
At Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah. So they'll just start showing us more information and things like that, and that will, like I said, a fire will not burn if it's not given oxygen. You don't get these fanboys anything to talk about. A lot of their channels are going, you'll see, they're going to go the way of the dodo bird. You'll see it. It's going to start happening next year.
Yeah, because think about it. If you don't announce it, then if you have to move it, it's no big deal because nothing was announced. Nobody knows anything. You know what I mean? It's because if you move it, then they're going to bitch anyway,
Correct. Yeah. No, you're right. You're they're saying turn up my mic. Okay. No, you're exactly right. And that's why you had people this year saying Sony's not giving me no information and it's making my job, it's making what I do harder. I mean, you have people saying that stuff. So, it is what it's crazy, but that's where you're at.
Well, let me ask you this: where we know Xbox isn't going to get a mid-gen refresh. Everybody got a PS5 Pro out in a while. How long before Microsoft either let the fans know that there's not going to be any hardware, or they're going to release some specs or talk about their hardware, whatever it is that they're going to put out? Do you guys think 2026, 2027, 2028? Do you think this is just a slow? Microsoft is just going to try to slow everything up until they can finally just tell people, hey, listen, we're just not going to do any more hardware. What do you think the end game is? How it's going to roll out? We know the end game, but how is it going to roll out?
Slow as they can. And 25 is going to get worse for Xbox guys because you're going to see more third parties skip them. If they made this announcement, you're going to see more third parties skipping because of the S and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I think they're waiting for the Nintendo to come out with their console, with their specs and how it's going to play and all that kind of stuff. And
but you got to imagine they already have Switch 2 dev kits.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, to put their games over there. So
yeah,
I don't see them going high end if they do make a handheld. They'll go fucking cheap. You know what I mean? That Microsoft's cheap.
Yeah,
that's legit. See, I think they'll go 1440p on a handheld. I think they want to be able to say, oh look, we have this. But that's just my opinion. They may say Kick Rocks it's 720p upscale to 1080p. You know, we'll just have to kind of wait and see because. What I keep telling people is that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, they are not in charge. They're the face, but the words coming out of their mouth, that's Amy Hood.
They're the mouthpiece.
Yeah. You know, it's their face, but it's Amy's words. And if Amy calls Satya and says Satya, I think it'll be good based on what our market-based research. Microsoft Flight Sim can go to PlayStation and with VR support, Satya Nadella is going to say, okay, make it happen. And then she's going to call Phil into her office and say, go ahead and start porting, call Sony and see what it'll take to port Flight Sim over with VR support. And they'll do it. That's it. It's not like Sony's going to say no. Sony does not have any type of Flight Sim on their console. They don't.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's no reason for them to, I've always said, they should get X-Plane on. They should go ahead and get X-Plane. But if they have Microsoft up against the ropes and they're going to put the game over there, they might as well just go ahead and put the game over. It is what it is.
Well, that's true. That's true. Anyway, guys, I mean, it's you know, it's crazy. Any last words, Heath and Craig? You know, on this crazy day. It's been a crazy day. I think guys are going to be okay. They're going to rage for a few days, and then they're going to be back to their normal capping for Xbox and lying and making stuff up. Any last words, guys?
This shit is just sad. That's all I got to say. This is sad.
Yeah, I just wish they were honest with their fan base. A lot of it is and they talked about this on Crossfire, so shout out to Mooch. There's just a lot of mixed messaging because I do think you have two groups at Microsoft. One group wants to do it the easy way, and the other group wants to do it the hard way. I'm not trying to be funny. And Amy Hood's group she's gonna do it the hard way, and Phil wants to go ahead and let people down. He wants the helicopter to land easy, and that's why I think you're seeing kind of the pictures that you're seeing of Phil. Because I just think I was y'all talking about it. I think he's stressed out. I mean, I think he's stressed, and Ozempic. You lose weight on Ozempic and any semaglutide, but it's even distributed. You know, they'll say, well, we'll try to get you to lose 50 pounds in 12 months. So then when you think about it, you're losing about 3 pounds per month. But I just think Phil's stressed out because he's losing his hair too. That to me is the key. Somebody said that they lost the power narrative and Phil lost his hair all in the same year.
Damn.
You know, so I certainly hope that it's not medical because he does seem like a good guy. He's just not genuine when he talks to the press. It's one thing. But again, look what J-Dub.
He's running a company though. When you run a company, sometimes you gotta.
That's your job is to lie to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember he went out in the public when they had that sit down, and people were like, listen to what Phil said, but look at Sarah Bond's face when he's saying it's just gonna be those games. Look at her face. She was
like, what?
Yeah, she was kind of like, okay. I mean, that's kind of the look she had on her face. And when they asked her flat out about the game that got canceled or something like that, they were like, the game did sell well. So what is your metrics? So, and we don't know what their metrics are of success. That's, we know what failure looks like. Look at Concord. People keep mentioning that. But I think it's unfortunate that, like you all were saying earlier, they're just not being 100% honest with everybody. I just, I don't know what else to say. So it is sad. I agree. I agree with the guests here. It's just sad. Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Sad, but listen, those Xbox guys, they'll just go to PC or they'll go to PlayStation and call it a day and continue to, I guess, damage control or support Xbox or whatever. Everybody on the panel been saying this was going to happen for years. Phil has finally come out and said it, and they're either going to be upset or they're going to move on. And anyway, thank you guys for coming and rocking out with me, man. I want to thank thank you, Craig, as usual, my right hand man, Heath. Thanks for rocking out with me all the time, man. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat. AP, all you guys, Mike, Crypto, Zero Steel, all you, Impatient Fire, all you guys for always coming out, rocking out with me. I really appreciate you guys. We'll probably do a show tomorrow or something like that, or I'll be back on. As long as we got a lot of news, man, I'll be here. Again, thanks, Craig, for coming on and giving us your opinion on the whole thing. Again, we all hope Phil Spencer is in high spirit and high health. And this shit is going to play out the way it's going to play out. There's nothing we can do about that. It is what it is. This company invested $100 billion. They want their money back by any means. Like my brother Craig say, cheek busting or not, it's going to happen. Oh, man. Anyway, y'all take it easy. I appreciate